Okay,
Right.
so it's Monday, July 7th. We have a slightly smaller group today, probably because everybody blew their hands off while playing with fireworks a couple days ago. I mean, I shouldn't joke. I know it's terrible when that happens, but anyway, so and we don't have an agenda per se, but here we are. It looks like we have a new person joining us, or somebody joining using a different person's Zoom account. I think that's the case.
That's probably me, David. It's James Martin. You very kindly sent me a power supply the other week.
Yeah, how you doing, James? So I'm gonna remove the spotlight, and where did I do that? There we go. Okay, cool. So James, did you get your 2068 going?
Well, I actually did, and I'm going to give a live demonstration if you don't mind having a quick look.
Oh yeah, yeah. Let me spotlight you.
Okay, so let me just turn this around. Okay, so here we
Okay,
have the lovely 14-inch monitor, which I found in a cupboard.
and with a VCR, built-in VCR. I mean, how
That's right.
nice.
Isn't that great? So I'm going to go ahead and switch this on, and it's actually coming up with so it's working.
Yeah.
Those lines obviously aren't there, but here's something that's really weird. So if you do the usual,
Oh, how strange.
yeah,
Um, what? And you're using let me think, what is that? Command P or symbol shift rather, not command.
that's right, symbol shift and PP. Um, yeah, but any command that you use, it does exactly the same. So let's try.
So
Uh,
print will do the same.
yeah, absolutely everything you do. So even like new, for example.
Yeah. So am I hallucinating or are there missing pixels on some of those
Let
letters?
me, let me have a little closer look here. There's a slight pixel that may be missing on the W
Yeah.
for new, but I assumed that was the monitor that I was using, i.e. the TV, but you could be right. But yeah, so I'm kind of stuck. But that is the first time that it was switched on in, I believe. The first time I did it a few weeks ago was, I think it was 37 or 38 years before it had been switched on.
Yeah. So I've never seen that, but the missing pixel thing gives me pause. What happens when you do the word when you do print?
Print.
You,
Okay.
does delete work for you? Shift 0, I think it is.
Shift and zero. No, it's oh, hang on. Maybe let's have a look. Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So instead of power cycling, you can just do shift 0. There we go. Yeah, and you'll get an
Yeah,
extra delete if you're yeah, as you do with a 2068.
yeah. So yeah, I'm flummoxed by that one.
That's interesting. That's interesting. Okay. Um, my I find this really, really hard to believe, but if you're missing pixels, then that points to some kind of data corruption or bad. There's something going on. Yeah, like you said, James, there's something slightly off.
Hmm.
Um, and so my
It
first
almost looks like a partially stuck RAM chip, or a RAM chip with some
okay.
stuck bits. I've run into that with other computers where it can't process anything, and it was basically it had just enough space to come up, and then anytime you try to do anything, it would just run into the stuck bits and not be able to process
Hmm.
anything.
Right.
Hmm.
It was hanging up the not completely hanging up the data bus, but if you accessed it, then it would hang a bit on the data bus.
Hmm.
and print doesn't work, so you can't check RAM top.
Right.
Right, no command works, it seems like. Right,
Yeah,
James, you're not even able to get print to do anything?
yep, nothing. Absolutely no command works at all.
Okay. Um, did the person who gave it to you remember anything about say anything about it?
No, he's actually a
Absconded?
surveyor, and he had some specialist surveying software that he was using back in the 80s, and he's using the same PC that he used to swap to when he gave up with the Timex Sinclair. He got this PC, and he's still using the same one today.
Oh my gosh,
Wow.
that's insane.
Yeah, yeah, completely written in DOS. It's just unbelievable.
Wow. Okay. Well, James, I think I have a working spare somewhere. Maybe I'm gonna volunteer Carl here since he's not here. That's what happens when you don't show up.
Oh yes.
If you're not in a rush, I'd be happy to look at it. I have
Okay, or
quite
Joe.
a quite a few repaired ones. So I seem to be collecting them now. I just keep buying broken ones and fixing them.
Yes, I mean, yeah, I'd love to get it working. I've been looking at cassette players on eBay and Amazon, and sort of just thinking about that lovely nostalgic noise.
The screech, yes. Mhm.
Yeah.
So okay, and so James, when it comes to cassette players, I've tried, you know, a variety of those sort of old shoe boxes and new shoe boxes, and
Hmm.
I didn't have a lot of success with either of those, but I did have success with the Timex 2020. Those tend to be really pricey, but
Hmm.
um, I'll send you a list. I don't know that off the top of my head, but there's a General Electric model, which is the exact same thing. Um, and those go for $20, $30 at most. Um,
It's gone up a little bit.
I'm sorry,
I'm looking for one right now too, and it's gone up a little bit. They're more like 40 or 50
the
bucks right now.
GEs. Okay,
Yeah, the
okay.
GE one. I still have the one with the bad belts in it, but I'm looking for one also. And I noticed they've gone up since 3 years ago. So
Oh,
Of course, everything's gone up.
everything's gone up. Yep.
What are
Um,
the
no, it's because
um, there's also and I'm not right. The Radio Shack, the Minisette 9 is actually the sort of the model. James, the story. This is kind of hilarious. We had this guy George Grimm on one of our meetings, a couple of our meetings, but anyway, ages ago. George was the person at Timex who, when they launched the 1000, he coordinated the software. All the stuff that got sold in little, those little red, black and red cassette
Hmm.
boxes. He worked with vendors and then individual people would send in their programs, and he was the intake and Q&A and et cetera. He had a little team of folks working for him, and so he told us, because we didn't really we noticed the similarity between the Radio Shack cassette player and the 2020, and so he told us the story. And one day he goes down to Radio Shack, literally down the street from where he works, and says to the guy, what's a good cassette player for using with a computer, because this was a problem. It really depended upon the quality of your cassette player. And the guy says, this Minisette 9. And that's how Timex got into selling this, this specific unit, because some dude at Radio Shack in Middlebury, Connecticut pointed him to it. Not through any sort of like official channels of, let's go out and talk to manufacturers or anything. It's like, no, the dude at the Radio Shack. Anyway, do you want to connect with Joe offline, and you guys are both, you're both on the groups.io list. And
yes, absolutely. Yeah, I'd appreciate anybody that can help me. And if Joe sounds like he's the man.
Yeah. Well, Carl's not here, so it's a little hard to commit him, but I'm not against it. But Joe could do it too.
Carl's kind of busy with his new projects too. So.
Carl is super busy. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike.
This one works too.
Is that the CTR81 or something like that? I can't make out the numbers. Your camera's kind of not focusing on it.
I heard there was other GE ones that work similarly.
The shoebox shaped.
Yeah, there's even some smaller ones. I think that might be. There was a lot of Minisette. There was like Minisette 7 and Minisette 8, and
yeah,
some of them work and some of them don't, from what I heard.
Okay. Well, Paul, if you have recommendations, can you send them to the email list?
Sure.
Cool.
I have a quick question too. If you're fielding.
Sure. That's what we do here.
So I put a note in the chat earlier, but you didn't see it. But so I sent you an email right before this. I sold and packed away all of the last of my Texas Instruments stuff, believe it or not. I just don't have the space for it anymore. And since I had the 2068 and the TS1000 with the ZXpand, I was like, why don't I start getting into using this? Also, I think it's kind of better for what I want to do. But unfortunately, I packed away my power supply for my 2068 with the TI stuff. So I don't have it. I couldn't power up my 2068 for tonight, but I got a TS1000 going with the ZXpand hooked up, and it's working. Now, this console has kind of a glitch with the video where it's real touchy, and it comes in and out. But the question I had was something I never noticed before. I'm pretty sure this is the console that I was using with the ZXpand originally, but I just noticed something. I don't remember, was it Jeff or Paul who put this membrane keyboard on here for me, but I just noticed under the so I guess it's under the L print, the L list and the Z button. All three of those buttons have green. One says ZXpand, one says config, another one says cat. So those are obviously commands for the ZXpand. I never even saw that there before, that there's these little green words, but I can't figure out how to what button to fire them. So like it doesn't work with shift because that's the red command. But so on the S button, the G button, and the Z button, I've agreed. So I just didn't have time to look it up yet. But I also need to find a ZXpand manual to print. But I was just wondering if you knew offhand how to access those green commands.
Yeah, when you have the ZXpand plugged in, it actually overlays part of the ROM, and like the copy is replaced with cat. So whatever you need to press to get to copy, you would hit that and get to cat.
Looks like I think my ZXpand crashed when I did that. So what would happen if I press ZXpand? Is that a restart? Oh no, it says save. So the save still works like save. If I hit the G, it still gives me go to.
I'd reboot.
But if I
and make sure you see.
If I hit the Z, it does say cat now.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So so that explains that. And then if I hit, all I have to do is hit new line to get my catalog of what's on the ZXpand then?
I don't remember off the top of my head. I always
Oh.
have to look to.
I think it's given me the memory and stuff. So it looks like there's something to that. But anyway, okay, that explains that. I wonder why what the command that says ZXpand does. Oh, yeah, there it goes. Oh, it is a restart. Oh no, it's LS now.
LS. That would be potential.
Instead of a K, after it says ZXpand and then there's LS with the black around.
Oh.
Lift?
That might be a syntax. I'm with.
Yeah, I think that's syntax error, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's syntax error. I'm with Joe about rebooting.
Yeah, well, I have a couple times while we're talking, but
Okay.
That's when I got it to work. The problem I'm having is that this video keeps going out on me, but
Are you still using RF or did you get a composite mod?
I have a composite mod, but it's just gotten shaky over time.
Oh,
okay.
Interesting.
I have to kind of like pull it halfway out to get it to work. Anyway, I think you kind of got me started. At least I know how that cat works. And the ZXpand is working, and I got it booted up to a K screen, and the reboot on the ZXpand and everything works.
Cool.
I just I messed around and printed stuff with just on the screen, but so reboot it again.
And Paul, Mike linked to the manual. He put the link to the manual in the chat for you.
Cool, thank you. That's what I was hoping somebody would be able to do. Appreciate that very much. Yeah, I'm stoked to have this thing finally hooked back up. Can't wait to get my 2068 going, but I figured this thing has sound too, so I might as well start messing with it,
Yeah, cool. Awesome.
I have two ZXpands and I have a ZXpand Plus.
Oh, right. This is a plus, actually, right? Yeah, this is plus.
It says a joystick.
Version 1.14.
I don't know which one I have. I got the original one, the first one that Charles Bronson made, the ZXpand with the joystick. It's all on one board.
Oh, cool.
One board. The sound and everything is on one board. Where the ZXpand original had the main board, and then you had this motherboard you put on for the audio.
For the sound, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you and I will have to exchange some notes sometime so I can pick your brain about this thing. So
I actually talked to Charles Bronson in communication on emails, and I found out his sister-in-law lives in Belmar, which is only 20 minutes away.
Is that how you get support by threatening to go visit his sister?
His wife's American and he's British.
Cool. All right, cool. So
thanks, guys.
Yeah, Paul, Mike, hook up in the user group and get yourself a meeting going on. And James, we'll get you on track.
Wonderful. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Cool. Hey, Jeff. All right. Jeff, you're in outer space. What happened?
Decided to take a vacation.
Isn't he always in outer space?
Well, it might be argued that that's the case. Yes. Jeff, do you want to give a little update on that board? Do you have one that you can hold up?
Yeah, I do.
Of course, it's not going to show up because of
yeah, I'll turn that off.
Your background there. I'm going to spotlight you.
Okay, so here is an out of focus TS2060 board. This is the project that we've been talking about for a while. And it is to bring the 2060 BEU that Timex originally had proposed into the 21st century. And it's designed to allow for memory expansion, has a joystick input, uses VGA, allows VGA for video. It also has cores on here for a dual AY setup, and place over here for an expansion card. And right now the group is working on getting the software written for it. Give me a minute here. I'm going to use my trademark shaky cam.
Sweet.
Actually, David, talk
ourselves.
amongst yourselves for
So
a
one of
minute.
you didn't mention that it also has Wi-Fi. It has stereo-ish out. It has its own DAC on it. You can hook up potentially a USB keyboard as long as the keyboard has a USB-A connector, if I recall correctly.
Yes.
Actually, and SD card storage, just like the TS Pico. It's essentially the TS Pico software for storage and stuff. A real-time clock module option, because you never know when you need to know the time. I think that the real-time clock will probably be used to support real file date stamps on the files that are on the SD card. I think that's most of the hardware features that I remember.
Okay.
Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mention that.
Sorry about shaky cam, guys.
That's okay.
But right now, I have my Timex connected up to my prototype version. And so we have, I'm booted into a special ROM. As you can see, I've just made a slight change to know that I'm booting into it. And I'm going to reset the Pico. Now, there's a configuration file here that eventually is going to be an on-screen thing, but right now I have it configured so that it should boot up to a 2068 running Gyrus as a cartridge file.
Oh my God.
Sorry about that.
No.
So the Pico that basically sits in the background and does all the file operations, when the system boots, it loads the 2068 ROM into a static RAM that's on the 2060 board, and it can also, in this case, it loads up the XROM, and then in a special bank that's set aside for dock, it'll load, in this case, a game that's set up for a cartridge. So as I said, this is still early days. Ricardo, I can never pronounce his last name, David.
I'm at a loss as well.
Part of the Argentine contingent, he just got his board up and working today.
Oh, nice.
So he's been the one who has spearheaded most of the software work for the Pico, for the Pico storage board that was released earlier, and so he's going to be reworking that for this board so that we'll be able to have all of that functionality here.
Okay. Hey, Jeff, so I noticed something that in your videos. Okay. I noticed that game has black and bright black.
Yes.
And I don't know if you saw on the email list, there's a Paul, whose last name is escaping me, in the UK. They're planning a what's the word for it? an exhibition of vintage computers, and the 2060 is going to be one of them. And he has a Pico and a Pico Video and Tim's printer card. And one of the things that he emailed me about was, because he was absolutely baffled by this, was that the 2068 has bright black, whereas the Spectrum, of course, does not. And so Gyrus must be a Spectrum game. And he wanted to know, if it'd be possible to adjust the software to support closer to Spectrum for colors. So I pointed him to the GitHub, and he's already started to dig in to look at it because he's done other Pico stuff. So
yeah, the short answer to that is yes.
Yeah, because it's just code. It's just, I mean, the bright black versus black is just,
Yeah. And there's actually a software switch in the FPGA video core that I'm using here that will allow you to turn off bright black even in 2068 mode. But yeah, that's a fairly straightforward thing to do. Since the Pico Video was designed for the 2068, I decided to leave the bright black, and I didn't think about putting in a software switch for that, which should be trivial.
Wouldn't be difficult. But yeah, he was, he sent me a bunch of screen captures of various Spectrum games, running on the 2068 with what we just saw when you showed Gyrus was the wackiness.
Well, the way I look at it is they keep talking about this whole metric system thing. It's a passing fad, but we have two colors of black.
That's right. We got two shades of black. Cool. Thank you, Jeff. David, we're going to shift to VCF Midwest. And so the things that I want to mention, the registration for tables for VCF Midwest has opened. And that's not for you, David. That's just the intro to you. And I registered for two tables. I really only plan to use one. So it's extra space for folks who would like to, co-op on a table with another person or something like that. The space will be there. And then a bunch, I think 5-ish of us have registered for tables, and I'm going to get a list of everybody once. I'm just waiting to find out from Ingo if he's got a table. And once I have that list, I'm going to send it over to Mowgli, who's going to help us coordinate to be together. So we'll be one giant Timex Sinclair section, if possible. Okay, so cue to you, David. Talk to us about restaurant options.
So the dinner plans. So I did some research. Not having a lot of luck finding a restaurant that will do separate checks for 15 people, but I had an idea. So let's see how this flies. We could conceivably, now my thought was, what if we did like pizza?
That's an option, yeah.
So something where we can order a bunch of pizzas, say, however many there are, and maybe soft drinks or something like that. And, just do like, I would pay the check, but, everybody could just pay me a percentage, split amongst 15 people. There is a place that we could do that. It's called Lou Malinati's Pizza. It's pretty good Chicago style pizza. They have the deep dish and the thin crust, so you could go either way. So we could do something like that. They do have a bar there, so anybody who wants alcohol can, go up to the bar and buy their drink separately. And they said that would be totally cool. The only thing is we have to give them a call to let them know because it's a big group of people.
Yeah.
So they might set up a table for us. But other than that, that is an option.
Okay.
The other places I looked at that were pizza places like Giordano's is a big one out here. I don't know if you guys know Chicago pizza, but a lot of those they don't do reservations at all.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of because it's going to be, we were looking at Saturday night, right, Dave?
Yep. Late Saturday night.
It's going to be really busy, so we need someplace that can do reservations. So that's why I thought the Lou Malinati's. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, but they're good pizza.
How far is that from the venue?
Oh, it's right around the corner. It's right on Gulf Road, so it's right there.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and I'm totally with you on the we can deal with a single check and sort it out later.
Yeah, as long as we're not, because we're not buying separate meals where somebody's going to get a steak and somebody's going to get a chicken salad sandwich.
Yeah, right, and that would make
something that people can just chip in on, and I thought that would be easier.
Yeah. We get appetizers too, whatever. But yeah, like separate 15 or plus separate dinners would be a challenge that time of night.
Yeah, good luck. I work in the restaurant business. Nobody likes that.
They can go up to the bar and buy their alcohol because that's where it gets spendy anyway.
Sure.
On the alcohol. So
yeah. Okay.
Are we all good?
David, do they have, or can you just, is there, do they have a website or something?
They do, yeah.
Okay. Can you send that to the email list?
Absolutely. Yep.
And what we could do is plan ahead a little bit in terms of what we want to order and get, the pizzas, right? But then have some other options for other folks who are, less into pizza, basically.
Yeah. They have lots of any of the Italian stuff.
Okay.
They have some vegetarian options as well. So
okay.
If any vegetarians out there.
They do ban pineapple, right?
I'm sorry, we don't do that on pizza in Chicago.
Oh, okay, good. I'm glad to hear that.
And I am forced to ask about anchovies because of the Jake Isles band song, No Anchovies, Please. One of my favorite Jake Isles band songs.
I was actually having a conversation with my wife's best friend the other day, and she mentioned anchovies, and I told her I don't even know anybody who likes anchovies on pizza.
Anchovies are the best.
Cool. Okay.
I love them.
I mean, yeah, I'm down with that. We can have a we can chat about it in email, but I like the fact that it's close and that they think that they can accommodate us, because I really think that, I don't know what the number is off the top of my head, but there's also going to be potentially people's spouses.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have to accommodate their food desires. I can't imagine that people are gonna go to this thing and bring their spouse, and their spouse is going to be a computer widow for essentially several days. More so than usual. Cool. All right, thank you, David. Ryan is at an undisclosed location, he says.
Oh yeah. So
Is it outdoors? Oh.
it's a flight of a different kind.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's Robin Creek Brew in Beverly, Colorado.
Whoa! Holy cow! Where are you?
Georgetown, little place off I-70. So
That looks terrible, Ryan.
Yeah, I know.
Do they have any Timex Sinclair computers there? Did you bring any with you?
No, I did not. Where's the little flippy? Okay, there it is. Anyway, so that's just on vacation. But just check in, see what was up. But yeah, we were up north, up in Estes Park for a few days.
Okay, you're in Colorado.
So we just drove through the Rocky Mountain National Park to get to here.
Oh wow. Ryan, does your wife know you're doing this? Is this like last year?
Yeah. You know,
When you were secretly.
So I guess that means yes, she knows.
Oh my God, too much. Very cool, Ryan. Very cool.
looking forward to September, of course.
Nice. All right. Hey Mowgli, I didn't see you join, but I have all but one person that I know who's committed to tables, and it's Ingo is the holdout. So I'll ping him again and see what his situation is.
Okay, I listed like everybody that you gave me the names of in my thing, and said that it would be good if we were all somewhere near each other. And so I'll follow up with Jason and Mike once we find out after the 11th, who all gets tables and things like that. We'll find out how that all shakes out.
Cool.
And then we'll work it out so that hopefully we're all more or less in a group somewhere.
Cool. Yeah, so that people, who really are interested in the right kind of vintage computer can just come in, they could skip everything else and hone in on the most interesting part of the entire event, right?
Now, I mean, if someone wants to bring along a big neon Timex Sinclair flashing sign or something like that, we can always see about just putting that above whatever section we're in and, making sure people know where to find those.
Very cool. Yeah, let's see. I'll see about getting one of those made. All right.
I had said that it'd be cool if we had like a banner that was, looked like a classic CES banner, essentially.
Funny you should mention that, Ryan. I ordered a banner. That's probably not as classy as a CES banner, but I did order a banner.
Is that printed with a ZX printer, David?
I missed. You know what? I'll order another banner. Hey, John, where are you? I forgot. What part of the country are you in?
Minneapolis.
Oh,
I'm a couple miles away from Jeff.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Are you gonna? Do you think you'll be able to come to the?
No, I'm sorry. I got some other commitments. It sounds like a lot of fun. I've been to the pizza place you're talking about. It's a cool place.
Okay. Okay.
But I'm not gonna be able to make it down there.
Maybe next like 6 or 7 hours.
Got another grandchild that just came, so there's just too much other stuff going on.
Congratulations!
Nice. Yeah. So, John, I am suffering from the same geographical disability that everybody else suffers from when they ask me about where I'm from. They'll say, yeah, I'm in Buffalo, and they'll say, oh, okay, so you go to New York City all the time. I'm like, no, that's 460 miles away.
Yeah. Yeah, the other side of New York.
think of Niagara Falls. I can go to Niagara Falls all the time.
Yeah. So you get a little snow up there then.
You can go to Ohio all the time. That's only a few hours away.
Ohio. I have been to Cleveland many times. I love going to Cleveland.
that make you upstate?
That's making me yes. Well, Ryan, there's a joke that for folks who are in Manhattan, anything north of 125th Street is upstate. But yeah, they consider anything off the island is upstate. Technically, we call it Western New York.
Yeah.
Well, I love Minnesota, but I will say without fear of contradiction that upstate New York is God's country. Maybe number two, but it's some beautiful territory.
Yes, especially the Adirondacks. Oof, that's fantastic. Y'all made me lose my train of thought. Good job.
There was a brief discussion of VCF Midwest.
Yeah.
If you had more on that.
They're on target.
Yeah. No. So, like I said, I have a banner. I like John's idea. I might have to, revise said banner to be more ZX printery. And right, VCF Midwest is in Chicago, right? And hopefully we'll have certainly we'll have time to coordinate our efforts to make sure that we're complementary of each other in terms of what we bring.
You may need something to put it up with.
Well, my initial thought, Paul, was I was going to tie it to the front of my
Table.
Thank you. But I could probably get some poles, poles with like flat, heavy bases to put it on. That would be much more visible.
If you're vaguely handy, you can essentially make pipe and drape out of just a bunch of PVC piping, and doesn't cost a whole lot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that's the traditional convention approach if you're doing it yourself, and you're not part of a large company that can afford to go buy something from someone.
That's right. And there's an exhibits company just down the street from me. Maybe I should just go ask them.
Yeah.
They'll quote me a price that it would be astronomical, I'm sure. Anyway, yeah, all right. So I think we're settling on food, what to do about food, what to do with our time. Mowgli, do you have any advice for us beyond what we've done so far?
Not that I can think of.
Okay.
I mean, so like I said, there's lots of stuff in the area. Schaumburg and other bits of the northwest suburbs are all out there.
Yeah.
I am still not quite sure what the parking is going to be like here, because last year we used pretty much every bit of the front parking, and they immediately after we left, they started construction of a entertainment complex, pretty much nuking at least half of the parking that we used. But it's supposed to have a garage, which in theory attaches to the hotel via a second story walkway thingy.
Oh.
So I don't know what the rules are going to be about parking in the garage for hotel guests and things like that. That'll be a little bit experimental this year, just because I don't know how much of that will be finished. And I mean, when I was up there in May for Cocoa Fest, I drove by there and it looked like they had at least all the major structure up. And so the garage, I would imagine, will be finished by the time we're done. Whether the entertainment complex itself is going to be open or not, I don't know. But it's supposedly going to be a pretty big entertainment thing with, I don't know if they're going to do go-karting, but there's going to be lots of the other indoor types of entertainment things, kind of like a Dave and Buster's on steroids, maybe with laser tag and some other of the physical stuff is supposed to be in there.
John, this is what you're going to be missing, John.
So, so parking will still be interesting in some form or another. But the load in is on the backside anyway, and that'll involve the dock areas there. So it's more the pain of like having to drag whatever you have purchased to your car if you're not actually in the hotel itself.
Oh, right.
That can be the fun part. Loading your displays in and out, that shouldn't, I think, be a problem. At least in should be well taken care of. Out, I think, again, we're required to hire somebody to run the dock anyway, so there's going to be at least 4 hours of use of the dock on Sunday as well to load stuff in and out with.
Sure. Makes sense. Okay.
Mowgli,
Yeah.
do they put up backing curtains?
No. Pretty much what we get is an empty hall or
Okay.
2 halls. And we get several carts full of tables. And
Alrighty,
pretty much
gotcha.
they say here,
So it's going to be wide open.
yes, it will be wide open, unless you bring your own curtains, which is an option. And effectively, like, we'll be there already, I think, on Thursday, starting with like the table setup. There will by default be tablecloths on the tables, but those mostly will be ones that Mike and Jason have bought, because they discovered rapidly that if you use the tablecloths once, it's cheaper to buy them than it is to rent them.
Hmm.
And if you use them more than once, it's really way cheaper to buy them than it is to rent them. So, so they have basically purchased the majority of their own tablecloths. We might get some with the tables that we're renting from somebody else, I think. But anyway, so you will have tablecloths on the tables that cover the tables, and you will have tables, obviously, unless you have chosen not to have tables. I'm guessing most of us probably will want a table to put things on. Most of you guys probably are not bringing the kind of gear that needs the table removed. But yeah, it's a big open area, but it's actually not as noisy as you would think because it's a very, very large arena. Especially if we're getting 2/3 of it. That's a very, very large area, and it's very tall. So there's a lot of space up where the noise just kind of goes up.
I was sort of thinking along the lines, if they had the curtains, easy to hang the banner unless you're against a wall.
Right.
Yeah. No, there's none of that.
That's okay. Okay.
Yeah, they
know
did
some
have
shows
tables
they-
against the wall last year, but the wall is going to move again this year because they're getting more space. So, and I don't know, like, asking for a table against the wall wasn't really an obvious option because there are so few of those.
I was just thinking.
Mhm.
Been to more than a few conventions.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see what happens, but there's enough people in the group that we probably would want kind of like to try and we probably would have most of a complete island if we with all of the tables. And there's a few other friends of mine that are not Timex Sinclair people that I also lumped in to be near me. So I probably will just try and tell Jason and Mike, look, for ease of everything, if you just put all of the people I'm associated with and we give us our own island, and maybe if there's room for 1 or 2 other people, then we'd basically all be pretty much next to each other.
Yeah.
it makes sense to contain the contagion. So
Well, and you can like go around and sneak little Timex Sinclair banners on other people's tables and things like that. Just, not that I've suggested this in a recorded session of any kind.
Mowgli. This is Dave Green. I'll be there. I can be there pretty early on Friday. Is there anything you guys need help-wise?
Well, I mean, that's going to depend on things. I don't know. I mean, basically, Friday is us finishing our setup, whatever was left over from Thursday, and then getting all the vendors to stuff moved in. So if you're able to show up early, there may be stuff for you to do. There may not be stuff for you to do. It all kind of depends.
Okay. Well, I mean, I can go to the mall if nothing else.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of things to do around there. So
Cool.
Could outfit a babe in a skimpy Timex t-shirt and have her walk around.
yeah, this is the 2020s. I don't think.
Yeah. This isn't CES in 1982.
Yeah. Now, to be fair, there will be way more women there than there were in the 1980s. So,
so there'll be 5.
maybe more than 5. But yeah, no, it is sometimes interesting, and I mean, some of them are, but there are actually already plenty of women who are podcasters and things on the vintage circuit as well. I don't know if any of them are coming. I just saw some of them at the Southern Fried Gaming Expo where VCF Southeast was. And VCF Southeast had Veronica Explains and the Taylor and Amy show as guests there. And both of those do more different micro and Commodore oriented stuff, but still they're very, very vintage oriented podcasts.
What was the first name? Was it Taylor and Amy?
It was Taylor and Amy show, and then it was Veronica Explains.
I think the Taylor and Amy show did an episode about the 2068 last year sometime. It was.
Okay, I'll have to go look that one up.
Is that on YouTube?
Yeah, their stuff is all on YouTube.
Okay. Yeah.
And I know Veronica lives somewhere in Minnesota. Okay. Because she's mentioned that a couple of times somewhere on her website. But I don't know specifically where Taylor and Amy hang out normally, but so
okay.
But yeah, so and as people walking through, there will definitely be more women than there used to be back in the 1980s wandering through.
Hey Paul.
Me?
Phil Barr has a thing that you might know what it is. Phil, do you still have your little QL doodad handy?
You mean this little thing?
Yeah, check that out.
Oh, that's for QL.
Hang on, let me spotlight.
Yeah, spotlight that so I can get a better.
Okay,
that's the round pack for QL.
It is. It says
CPM emulator. That's QL.
So, Paul, what do you remember about this thing?
I may still have docs for it.
Really?
Well, do you happen to have a working QL as well?
No, not right this moment. Let's put it this way. It may work. It has been untested for quite a while.
Well, Phil, be in the market for a working QL.
That probably is only a 16K chip.
And I found some sort of semi-review of it in an old issue of the QL report from 1987, and from what I gather, it lets you, if you have that ROM cartridge and a disk drive, like a 3.5 or 5.25, you can then read files off of various CPM formats.
That's my understanding too. But
Does
you
it
had to have a
actually-
trump card or a card out the side.
Okay. And does it actually let you run CPM?
If you know how, yes.
Okay. Okay.
Wait, but what was I thought
The
what was the main CPU on the QL?
The 6808.
Yeah.
And hence the U-later part of CPM U-later.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Well, but that's actually impressive that it is fast enough to do essentially on the fly. Because it wasn't one of the newer 68Ks, the 020 or better. It was an 08, right?
Yeah, it was designed with the 08.
And 8 megahertz or something like that, right?
Which was 16-bit internal, 8-bit external.
Okay, yeah. Okay. I would definitely want to see this because I want to see how fast it actually pulls that off.
And I can't tell you that anymore.
Okay. By
the time I saw the cartridge, I was already trump card or super gold card.
Oh, okay. Okay. You were the power user.
Now, I also found in my pile of goodies here, and I didn't know they made them. The wafer drives.
Yeah.
I thought they were just for the Spectrum, but this one is labeled that it's for a 2068 only.
Is it?
And it was kind of like the female connector that plugged in the computer was labeled for the 2068 only, but the male connectors on the backside are labeled for Spectrum only.
We never handled something like that I know of.
I don't have any wafer drives, the actual cartridges. But,
so
I got a bunch.
Phil,
yeah,
a lot.
The thing that you have,
the
Phil,
drives.
I got a couple extra drives, but they're naked. No case, no connection, because they were out of QLs.
Oh.
Okay. So they'd be replacement for QL wafer drives.
Yeah, they were bare wire.
Okay. But Phil, the thing you have, does it say WAFA WAFA drive or?
Yeah, it's I don't have one here, but it's kind of a long rectangular box.
It might be a WAFA drive.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. That's exactly what
I believe that's the WAFA drive. It's about 3.5 inches tall by maybe 8 inches wide.
Yeah, that sounds like it. Yeah,
that's a WAFA drive, and the slot's bigger than a micro drive for QL.
Right. It looks like it takes like a 3-inch or something. I want to say floppy, but
it was tape.
Different.
It was a different kind of tape cassette.
Yeah, they were tapes.
Yeah. Now, there were a few adaptions with a 3-inch drive, but that would be 3 across for the slot itself, and that's quite obviously bigger than a WAFA drive slot.
Yeah, these are identical, little small slots.
Yeah, then that would be the WAFA drive, and they did make both 2068 and Spectrum.
Okay.
Hmm.
I have to look through my boxes again and see if I do have a disc. I like to have a disc, when I plug it in and try and see if it works.
Were
Now, they
those
work
continuous
well with
loop?
the Oliger disk drive system in conjunction.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. What type of power supply did it use?
Didn't. I think it was it drew the power from the 2068.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me show a picture and see if this is what you're talking about.
Oh, were those continuous loop? The
Yes.
WAFA? Okay.
Yeah, continuous loops. They came in different time capacity.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
So this came from Damco was the American company, but Rotronics is the manufacturer in England. And right, as you said, for use with the Sinclair Spectrum computer only. Unfortunately, I can't get that image to zoom, but yeah, okay. And that used
how big were the drives? Storage.
A little over 2 inches across, I believe.
Yeah, they weren't that big.
How much data could you put on them?
Oh, it depended upon the length. So
yeah, the length was marked in minutes.
Yeah, anywhere between 4 and about 64K of data.
Depends on the length.
Yeah. So 64K would have a 75-foot loop of that tape inside.
Now, the one thing I don't know about is whether they used BASF tape.
The WAFA drive used the BASF design.
The QL microdrives and the Spectrum microdrives used the BASF for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know if the WAFA drive did.
Okay.
That I can't say.
Yeah.
And that was good tape.
You don't have any of them, I take it.
Oh,
yes, I might have a few.
All right, guys. Take it to the email list. Today's all about connections.
I believe I even have an extra wallet for them.
Oh, that's crazy. That's what you need, Phil, right? You need the tapes and the wallet to hold them.
Well, I got the hardware. I just got to find the software.
It was just command driven. It wasn't extra software.
Yeah, it's built into the interface.
Yeah. Well, like I say, I got the hardware, but I just don't have the physical cartridge that goes.
Yeah, you need some tape.
Yeah.
You can find me on the mailing list and on the website.
Okay. Well, like I say, let me see if it works first.
So, Phil, Paul was one half of Mechanical Affinity, and they were one of the other big dealers of long-lasting dealers of stuff for the Timex and the QL and stuff like that.
I think we were one of the last. Also,
you outlasted Rod for sure.
Yep.
Yeah. I think you said one of the last. Paul, I know I've asked you this before. How far apart were you and Frank? Like, in miles?
Depending upon the highway traffic, 45 minutes to an hour 15.
Okay. Because your ads listed both of your addresses, right? How did anyone know which one of you to send an order to?
Didn't matter. We stayed in touch. I had free long distance back then.
Oh, okay. That would have made it easier.
Plus, a lot of our connections with Europe was done while I was at work testing the long distance trunks.
Nice.
Those were test calls. They were not business calls.
Right. Okay. So, and if somebody sent, did you guys both have, a garage full of stuff, or if somebody
Well, yes, sort of. And it was just whoever had what was needed, we mailed it out from that location.
Okay. Okay. So if I sent you an order for something and you didn't have it, you'd call it Frank and say, send this out to David?
Yep.
Wow. Okay. Crazy. Crazy. And you know, how late what were some of the last orders you got?
Mostly QO related, the last orders.
Okay.
We didn't have too much of the stock in the 2068. We had some Spectrum stuff that was left over, mostly software.
Mm-hmm.
And I may have sent some of that to you.
Probably.
If I sent you a box of tapes, there may have been some Spectrum tapes in there too.
Oh yeah. Oh, as a matter of fact, that reminds me. One of the tapes that I'm pretty sure came from you, Paul, was a ZX profile, and it had a database on it for in essence tracking maintenance at properties, right? And I opened the database up the other day, and I was looking at it, and it says things like, painting the kitchen, or fixing up, the I don't know, shower, whatever. And I'm looking through this stuff, and I'm trying to figure out. I mean, I got the part about it being repair estimates and maintenance and that kind of thing. So I started looking up some of the names of the locations, like the streets, whatever it gave in the thing, and it came out to Indiana, somewhere in Indiana, and I was like, oh, that's really really curious. And so I did some more digging, and actually, you know what? I wonder if I can show this screen, pop this image up. Okay, cool. I'm gonna make this bigger. There we go. So here's an example of one of these records that I found. Okay, so February 13th, 1987, for some place called Abington. I don't know what this fourth row of numbers means, but $80 worth of walls, repair a bathroom wall, living room and hall and kitchen ceiling for $15. And there's a bunch of these. There's 40 of these entries like this, right? So I'm looking up Abington and the other places, and it came up to somewhere, like I said, in Indiana. And West Lafayette, Indiana. And I'm thinking, who is it that could be in Indiana, in that particular area? Notice how it says WJ-RH down there in the left, sort of mid left-hand side. That's when it dawned on me. This is Willie Jones. This is a maintenance database from when he worked, because he had told us at one point that he had done property maintenance management, whatever, back in the 80s. And this is his database from doing that back in the 80s. It's insane. But I think I got that tape from you, Paul, because you're the only person who, would have sent me something like that.
Well, I filled the box. That's what I did.
Yeah. So I'm just waiting to hear back from Willie to confirm it, but I'm absolutely positive, because I looked him up on LinkedIn, and he worked at this property service place at the exact same time, which
well, it's a possibility.
Yeah. So thank you for all of those tapes, because there was all kinds of cool shit on those that I've managed to archive.
You didn't get the box full of 1,000, Timex 1000 tapes, and they
No.
were all the commercial tapes.
Well, was it somebody, and I think it might have been you, sent me a lot of Frogger for the 1000 sealed.
Yeah, there was some of those.
something like on the order of about 30 or 40 sealed Frogger tapes for the 1000. Yeah.
Well, now you have something to hand out to people at your table.
That's exactly right. Every sucker gets one.
Well, if you look on eBay, apparently some of those tapes go for halfway decent money.
Oh, really? That's crazy.
There's the difference between our listed and actually go for. You have to look at the finished listings to find out if they actually sold.
Well, I'm talking $5 or $10.
Oh,
it's fine. It
Okay.
adds up if you sell 30.
So that made me think of the show, David, the business card, or whatever it was you were going to do for handing to people with that info.
Oh yeah. So I've got trifold brochure paper, and like Ryan said, I'm thinking about handouts, and so I thought, could put information about the computers on the make a little brochure, and put information on about the computers on the brochure, put information about the email list and the Zoom meetings. And Ryan, I think you suggested putting a little program on there, which is the thing. But if anybody has any ideas about what else we put on there, totally open to it. I also have a reproduction of the Timex Computer Club membership card. So when you sent in that little coupon, I think that came with the 1000, in order to get subscription to Ramblings, they would send you a little it's like a credit card. I mean, it had a number embossed on it. Even mine does not have numbers embossed on it because it's a repro, but I have like 100 of those at least that I plan to bring, and people can take with them as well.
I was thinking that sounds like you could for your trifold, you could tape a bunch of Frogger cassettes as cover tape.
Nice. and underneath it, for when I run out of Frogger cassettes, it can say, if the cassette is missing from this card, you were ripped off. This card came with a cassette. I like that, Adam. Or Ryan, sorry, Ryan. Cool. So does anybody else have anything they want to chat about? Projects y'all have been working on? Jeff? Okay. How's your project going with the fourth thing?
Oh, I haven't even got to the fourth thing yet. I'm still working on making the little cartridge, the basic into a cartridge to run the Bado keyboard. So yeah, the fourth, that's gonna have to come later. So yeah.
I'm sorry. You said Bado keyboard?
Yeah, so my buddy, I tried making it. I don't have woodworking tools, so it looked like I don't know what word to say because you're recording. Heck, it didn't look good. So he's building the Bado keyboard from like the early 20th century, and he's got it wired to the joystick port, so I can plug it into the 2068. Because the Bado, or Bado, I guess is how it's supposed to be pronounced, supported 4 of them in like a token ring sort of thing. Like it was timed, so you could have 4 of these little keyboards at a table. And I'd like to have 2 of them hooked up to the 2068, so you have your cadence signal that would signal, okay, this guy types in his message, and then the next guy types in the message. But I'm not going to have that done in time for September. So it'll probably just be a single keyboard running a basic program that boots off the cartridge port.
Yeah.
So I've been using ZMake Base, which I'm appreciative of Ryan to get the that working. So I recompiled it for Turbo C, and that's what I'm using in that DOS box DOS box environment to get my whole build script working, to get the virtual cartridge booted and everything. So yeah, that's what I'm working on. I've always wanted to build a cartridge, so I've got your thing where you burn the PROM, the double E squared PROM.
Yeah.
Put it in the cartridge and boot it off that, an AROS cartridge. So
okay, I'm still hung up on the interfacing the auto keyboard through the joystick port part.
yeah, okay. So it's a 5-key keyboard. So it's like Morse code, but it's a corded keyboard. So you press a combination of 5 keys to create a letter. So for a 5-bit project to interface with the joystick port for left, right, up, down, and fire. So it looked like a simple project to interface to the joystick. So since I haven't done Z80 in so long, the machine language and stuff, I wanted to pick something that was easy, that once I kind of understood how to do it on the 2068, I could port to other computers. So that's what we're talking to Adam as far as like the Bally, Astrocade, and then the TI group as far as the TI. So I wanted something simple I could kind of adapt to different computers to refresh my memory on how to support other retro computers.
I'll be darned. Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
So that's kind of my project. So I kind of want to do like a little technical guide, like this is the machine code. Because remember, we don't have the bitwise operators. So
right.
Was it? Put it on the news group, the little machine language for bitwise and or not XOR and stuff. Well, so I can demonstrate reading the keyboard and kind of buffering the keys as you press them. Then when all 5 keys are released, well, that I can do the lookup table to figure out the French character, to print on the screen and stuff. Yeah. Right. It's goofy. It has no useful purpose. Like I hear all these people doing cool stuff, and it's like I'm stuck in geek world with my little diesel punk thing. But I mean, it keeps me off the streets. So I've been kind of doing it, I mean, yeah, I'm trying to change my life, David. So yeah, I'm just, yeah. So so I'm hoping to at least have it to bring to Chicago to show you guys, oh, this is what you've wasted 3 years of your life on. It's one of those things. Then we can go out for pizza and beer. I can just like, this is like the epitome of, yeah, what the 2068 can do. Yeah, for me.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, okay. It's quirky, but that's why I put that long thing in the news group, because really it is cool. The fact that you can program BASIC, put it in a cartridge. The 2068 has the native 2 joystick ports. Yeah. I mean, it is kind of a cool computer. I mean, until a couple of years ago, I always read about it, but until I actually had one, I thought, dang it, this is kind of nifty, and actually play with it. So, yeah. And plus the cool utilities we've got, ZMake base, that's pretty handy for typing it in text format, compile it into a TAP file, convert it into a doc file, and yeah, learning kind of how this stuff works.
Right. Okay.
So, yeah. So I don't mean to be too passionate about it, but it's been fun for me. So yeah.
Do you have the tools to convert the TAP file to the the file to burn to the ROM?
Yeah. So I was using Jeff's utilities that he wrote, then I kind of adapted them for DOS. Okay. And then that's what I've been using and right now it's just limited to 8K. My goal was to do an 8K image because the proms are cheap, just see, what I can do in 8K sort of thing. So the utilities are pretty small. Yeah. So yeah, I've got the whole cycle working, and hopefully this week, well, it won't be this weekend, but in a couple of weekends, I actually bring my first prom and put it in that board that I bought from you, and yeah, see if it can do it up. So yeah, I just think that's kind of cool. So
that is cool. Yes.
Yeah. Jeff K.
What's that?
Jeff K. If you want to get crazy, I can put a tutorial together to show you how to program in Z88 DKC for cartridges as well.
And I thought about doing that. And see, I'm going to be in Northeast Iowa this coming weekend. I thought, God dang it, Minneapolis or Minnesota, how far is that? If I could go up there and get the brain pool you guys got up in Minnesota. But yeah, it's just, But yeah, that would be cool because I have it done in with Z88DK and the Boreal Basic and stuff. And see, that's one thing too. So with Boreal, is the output that it's going to create, would it be able to be turned into a problem too? How does that play into all this?
That I don't know.
Okay.
Sure.
Because I don't remember if that ever been mentioned, like what the output is. It just a straight machine code file that
if
you burn as a.
Hey Gustavo, you were working with Tim Swenson on that. Let's see if Gustavo can. And I think that the output is machine code, but I'm not positive.
ZX Basic, is it the same thing? I know Tim had modified ZX Basic for 2016.
Yes, it's the same thing. Yeah.
Okay, and I was having a go at making that. He's done an old version. I was trying to update the new version and trying to add the 2068 as a target rather than patching the Spectrum one. But I need to still work on that a bit.
Okay, and is the output then a binary file?
Yeah, but I don't know off the top of my head if it's relocatable or not.
Okay.
It might be. I don't know. Maybe if you can get the assembler out, maybe we could relocate it.
You'd have to be able to specify where you want the code to start for it to work from a cartridge.
Oh, but you got to put the header too.
Well, that's less of a challenge as long as you can specify
the
starting address.
Yeah. I don't know off the top of my head. I've been meaning to get with Jeff about that. And then or not Jeff, Tim Clinton. I was gonna say to Jeff about bitwise functions, but then we started. I forgot we were talking about an AROS, and so AROS can't use define function,
right?
Which I'd made some recursive bitwise operators for that were fairly quick in the scheme of things, but they won't work. That's the other challenge. I want to figure out how to make define function work in AROS. Like hook.
I think you have an uphill battle, my friend.
I know.
Okay, Jeff, I am looking forward to your boondoggle.
If you look up Mignon typewriter, MIGNON, as a typewriter, it was an alternative approach to the standard keyboard. And I could certainly see you might be able to pull something like that off on a joystick port.
Oh, how strange.
Yeah, and I mean this kind of led me down a segue because it's what is it? For the BBC Acorn, there was a corded key like a one-handed keypad or keyboard, and the Xerox Altic or something like that. So the more I started looking into this, they took that Baudot keyboard from like the early 20th century, and then other retro computers, like every 20 years, somebody tried to adapt it into something that you could, like the BBC, you'd have two of them hooked up to the computer, and you could have three players, one person using the BBC keyboard, and two, I think, players using the joystick port or serial port, maybe a serial port. These one-handed keyboard things and do an adventure game together. I thought, well, that's interesting.
Okay. Just
the micro writer.
Yeah, micro writer. That's what was adapted to, and it was called something I think specific for the BBC Acorn.
Okay, and Jeff, you mentioned woodworking, and now it makes sense to me.
Yes, that's it.
Woodworking is important.
Well, yeah, because I wanted to make it look, now the internals, the metal you see that actually goes to the 5 wires that go through the electric lines, it's, I won't have any of the internals, but looking at the outside of the box, I want them right the same dimensions that we got from there. And then the switch on the side is receive transmit and the center screen. It won't
Okay.
have that. It's just going to be set to transmit mode. But yes, that's the unit. Mhm.
And what are those tines on the back? Is that like for the music box portion?
I've got the book, but it's French and I can't read French, so I don't know what they do yet.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Wow,
I
that's
think we
really
know a guy, don't we?
What's that?
We know a guy, I think.
Oh
do.
yeah, yeah. Was it David? There's Sully or somebody could read
Yep,
French.
David probably knows French. There's also and like you said, wow, 1897. How strange.
Yeah, but I was just looking for
Telegraph system.
something easy, some fun project for the joystick board, and that seemed like a candidate.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay. And this is from where we get the Baudot code. Got it. All right. So
Yeah, so the Wikipedia page talks about it being the first international telegraph alphabet, basically, and was the predecessor to ITA2, which was the most common teleprinter code in use before ASCII.
yeah, I remember reading about this in computing books back in the day, and not really even understanding how to pronounce it, much less understanding what it was.
And I think the Radio Shack books, when you used to go to Radio Shack and the little like train books on telecommunication talked about it, but I never
Yeah.
made a connection to this keyboard. So I thought as far as like a training aid, like at the library or something, I took it to the library for summer, the kids or whatever, and just explain the history of it.
Wow. Okay. Well, Jeff, that really is a rabbit hole, Jeff.
Yeah, but like Ryan was saying, you can't do def fun. So I had to do the machine code, and then call it from basic and the cartridge, and playing with the headers and stuff. And it's all a learning experience. It's pretty cool because
Well, okay, so that brings me to another question. It's my understanding that it's not possible to do like, a user call to a machine code program in an AROS? Or am I
So what
wrong?
was it? I found a block of memory that looked like it was pretty free, and it works in Fuse and it works in Variable, and that's going to be interesting to see if it works on the actual hardware. The 74 bytes I set aside for the bitwise operators.
Okay.
Yes, I heard. So there's that cartridge. I forget the name of it. It's a toolkit. Programmer's toolkit.
Yeah.
It mentions it. Well, in fact, it has a function to help you do a proxy user call because it says you can't call. And I think it might be in a particular range of addresses when you're in AROS mode.
Okay.
But when I made an AROS version of my QuickFont program, it seemed to be okay. I was poking machine code just below in the high memory, just below the UDG characters, though, and it seems to work. So I don't know what range it is that you can't call.
Maybe it's a lower range than Ryan.
Maybe it's I never went to look, but yeah, maybe it's the low range.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
I guess it has something to do with the way it's flipping back and forth with the AROS code, but I don't know. He didn't specify. He just says, "Oh, you can't do it." So here's a helper function. You put the address. I forget. You pass the address somehow. I forget how you do it. It's just the print after the user call or whatever method they use. And you call this one function. It looks, or maybe it was you ran. Maybe you say ran and the number, and then the address, and then you call user and then his routine, and then it picks that up, and calls it for you.
Right. Right.
But I don't know what the restriction is.
Okay. Well, I mean, if nothing else is of interest to anybody at VCF Midwest, we will have Jeff's project.
And that's one thing too. Okay, the TS Pico, because that was one feature that was hoping to come along too, right? Being able to run a cartridge file from TS Pico.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, that's a thing that you can do.
Oh, it could be done now?
Yes.
Okay, maybe I missed that memo. Okay, I thought it was a coming
Well,
up.
is that the beta version? I can't remember now.
Well, Ricardo has a program that lets you load. It's the sort of a helper program for loading a doc file into a memory slot, either in the flash or in the static RAM. But it is easier to do in the software, the firmware that's going to be coming soon.
Okay.
So yeah, Jeff, yeah, that's
okay. And like I say, I'm just targeting the physical cartridge because I've never made a cartridge period. So I thought it'd be fun to just make a physical cartridge first, and then if that capability comes rolling along, that'd be an extra, another way you could run the program. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's cool. It's fun. It's fun to make a cartridge.
It just sounded like a thing to do. All the cool kids are doing it. I wanted to try it. So
okay. That's right. All the cool kids, you got it. Yes. All the cool kids are doing it. and Jeff is making a whole system just so we could run cartridges.
Bit of trivia for you. Telephone company was still using some apparatus with the baud code in the 70s.
Really? Do you remember what it was?
It was a subsystem that we collected the information on the paper tape.
Oh dear.
Well, and then had to transport the paper tape to a central decode the paper tape location.
Wow. That's crazy. Well, but you know, the 70s was there's a lot of paper tape.
Yep.
Still very popular. Yeah. Cool. All right, gentlemen. Anybody else have anything they want to chat about?
I was gonna maybe play Adam and ask if there was anybody new. Did we do that already?
Anybody new? Well, we thought we did, but it turns out to be James using someone else's account. But yeah, tonight has been the usual suspects. Which means Paul and John, you are now part of the usual suspects. Or Phil, sorry, Phil.
Hey, who?
Phil and John are part of the usual suspects.
But this may be a dangerous question, but are there any deals at this conference down in Chicago?
Deals? I mean,
I mean, are you going to find anything that you can afford there?
I mean, you know, for extra large values of a Ford, probably. I don't know. That happened. Mowgli.
There's all manner of people come to sell all manner of things. Some of the prices are reasonable, some of the prices are unreasonable. It all depends on the variety of people. It is fairly common for you to have to go drag stuff out to your car or back to your hotel room, depending on which is closer.
More than once.
Usually more than once. Yeah. And some of the dealers who are local will bring a whole bunch of stuff. They'll have a whole bunch of stuff on Saturday, and then they may go home and bring another truckload on Sunday.
Whoa. Wow.
Or I should say Friday and Saturday for Saturday and Sunday. But yeah, and like last year, there was at least one person who I think they had like 4 tables, but they arranged them in a corner. And then pretty much they just had piles of stuff in front of the tables. And in that whole area surrounded by 4 tables was just kind of a big free-for-all pile of things. And if you found stuff in there, you found stuff in there. And I think that's the person I bought like Microvax and a whole bunch of tapes from. And I think it used to be out of one of the Blockbuster videos or something like that. Because apparently that was a computer system that the Blockbuster video used at some point for tracking their customers and the tapes and all of that stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, there's also at least one vendor in Chicago. You can go to his website. I've forgotten off the top of my head what the name of it is, but basically he rebuilds old computers and makes them like he rebuilds them completely. And by old computers, I mean things like Altairs and other such things. And I think he's got a couple of Altairs on his website for sale right now. I think one of them was he wants $5,000, and one of them was like 4,500 or something like that. So if you want to buy something a little bit more on the higher end, or you have a whole bunch of money you just want to get rid of in some way or another, that'll be possible also.
John, are we tempting you away from your family yet?
I hesitated to ask the question, right? Because that could be fairly tempting, but
Oh yeah. Well, and again, so I will be spending most of Saturday over at the table with the guys. My job is to handle all of the auction donations. So what happens is, in order to keep VCF Midwest free and to keep it going, there are some donations. There are some people who make sure that it gets enough money to cover so that the entry is free. But to help with that, there is an auction on Saturday from 4 to 7 p.m. And any manner of things can wind up in this auction because it is basically the people who show up. And, if there's something, and if you feel like you want to help out and help keep the VCF Midwest going, feel free to bring something, even if it's just like a TS1000 or something like that, to hand into the auction. And basically, we hope to get it done in 3 to 3.5 hours. That's usually about how long it takes. And Jason runs the auction, and he's kind of entertaining to listen to because he tends to do a lot of stream of consciousness stuff, but he also knows a lot about a bunch of different computers, and is not afraid to call on his buddies who know things about computers that he doesn't know to make them divulge them. So there's often a bit of education as well as a bit of comedy tossed into the auction. So yeah, I mean, if you come with money, you don't have to leave with the money. You can leave it there. There's plenty of opportunities for that.
I'm hoping to avoid that.
I wish you luck.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
I already started saving money, so
Cool.
And this show is in September, correct?
Yep.
Correct. Second weekend in September.
Are you thinking about coming, Phil?
Mr. Barr?
Yeah.
I do believe I uploaded to David the operating manual for that Waffle Drive.
Okay.
Oh, I can find that for you, Phil. Yeah. Cool. Phil, I will find that later and send the link to the email list.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. And I'll call you out on it. So cool.
Back to that little keyboard that you're building that has the French manual.
Yeah.
I have 1000 software here, conversational French.
Okay, would like to say that would help me get up to speed, but if it's like Frogger, I'm not sure. It's like not everybody loves it. So,
It knows 240 words and 50 phrases. So
it's good to know it's out there. I appreciate it.
You'll at least be able to find the bathroom.
Right. Where's the train station and the bathroom? But okay.
It's going to be a short conversation.
I do have Spanish and German. So if anybody wants to travel Europe, let me know.
That might be the entire set of languages for the 1000.
Yeah, I think that is.
What? There's no English?
Certain assumptions were made.
I mean, they were selling these things in Portugal, seems like
Right. English would have been useful.
No Portuguese.
Yeah. Well, English for the Portuguese.
Yes. Conversational English. Again, a short conversation. All right. Anything else, gentlemen? Or okay.
The next meeting is going to be a Sunday meeting.
Next meeting is going to be. Thank you, Mowgli. You are the stand-in for Adam right now.
I did not run fast enough, is what you're saying.
Correct. Our next meeting is Sunday, July 20th at 2 p.m. And maybe we'll actually have an agenda for that. We'll have some things to talk about. Jeff, do you think your friend will have your keyboard made for you anytime soon?
He showed it to me today. He came up. I met him at lunch. He's got it built. He's going to stain it probably next week. So yeah, the unit I should have in a week or so, and then I can actually start. Yeah,
sweet. Okay.
Trying it on the real 2068. So that's gonna be cool, exciting, and see how well this machine code works. If it's a safe place to use, and that's why the sooner I burn that prom and check it and see if I got to relocate the machine code or something, see what works. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. See you in 2 weeks. You can reclaim this time to work on your novel. All right. Bye, guys.